What's good, everybody? Corbino here, and this list I've been wanting to do for a while. This is top 10 franchises that made me into the geek that I am today, or geeky franchises. Just franchises really, because these franchises are geeky, so you can say geeky. But sorry, I'm getting off topic here. We got 8, because 8's my favorite number, and these are some of my favorite franchises, and they're what got me to where I'm at today. So I want to talk about them. Number 8 is Back to the Future. I didn't watch Back to the Future. I don't even remember knowing that it existed until 8th grade. It was during the summer. It might have been going into freshman year or going into 8th grade. I just remember being at the beach watching TV, and Nickelodeon kept advertising that they were going to play the Back to the Future movies, like on Nick at Night or something like that. And I was thinking, those movies look kind of cool, and like that's my earliest memory of Back to the Future. I don't know, maybe I've seen it before, maybe I saw ads and stuff before, but that's the earliest memory I have. I think I only got to see a piece of the third one because I was on vacation, so I didn't get to see them. And then Netflix, back when everyone got them on DVDs, I got them, every time. Got them over the next couple weeks, got all 3 DVDs, watched them, loved them. I remember sitting in our computer room back when we only had a computer for the house. It was slightly bulkier, and I remember I was singing Earth Angel like crazy. It was back when I thought I could sing, and I just kept restarting Earth Angel over and over and over and over again. I loved that song, but I fell in love with that franchise, and then quickly, I think it was like I fell in love with it so quick in that first year, and I'm pretty sure my mom got me a VHS of the first one from a yard sale for me to keep, and then I got I was looking at a Back to the Future picture. Then for Christmas, I want to say, I got came out in 85, so I don't know, that would have been 95, 05. But it was before 15 for sure, so it was probably their 15th anniversary, something like that. It was like an anniversary DVD set. I still have it. Came with digital disc, regular disc, and it came with bonus disc. And the bonus discs were actually very interesting. That's where I learned that people actually believed that there were hoverboards. Like the writers or producers of the movie were like, yeah, we had a warehouse of them, and just had to get our hands on them. That's just kind of funny. But oh my lord, it was fantastic. And I rewatch those movies constantly now that I had them on DVD all the time. I remember in 8th grade, it was in one of my classes, and we were talking about, so it must have been before 8th grade when I discovered them, but we were all talking about how 2015 is right around the corner and we still don't have hoverboards, and we were all making jokes about that. But anyways, I fell in love with it. I went online and found some of the old cartoons, rewatched the movie so many times, I watched sketches and all sorts of stuff involving it, and I started trying to get my hands on merch, and it's a little harder to find some Back to the Future merch. But with one of my earlier loot crates, I got a mini hoverboard replica. Love it. I have pins from the movie, various ones. I got a Doc Brown. He was one of my, I'd say, first 10 pops. It was an exclusive of them being younger with the electric cables, jumper cables, whatever you want to call them. And then finally I was able to buy Doc and Marty, like the regular pops. I still need to get Marty on a hoverboard. But either way, I fell in love with them, and I have a decent bit of their merch. I've gotten pictures on I've gotten a picture with Hannah in the original, in the replica of the hover DeLorean and the hoverboard. That's awesome. And I fell in love with the franchise. Sorry, I wasn't supposed to be sticking on this very long. Number 7 is ScoobyDoo. I know that's an odd franchise to say, but I watched it all the time. I remember watching it at my grandma's old house. I remember watching it at my grandma's new house. I remember watching it on 2-hour delays early in the morning. I remember watching it when I was at home sick. I remember watching it all the time when I was homesick. I remember when Mr. Incorporated came on. I fell in love with that show instantly, and I watched it with my mom and cousin Drake. I fell. ScoobyDoo was awesome. All of them were awesome. The Hex Girls were awesome. Scrappy is Scrappy. Scooby Dumb was hilarious because of how dumb he was. You had all of his various dog animals. Red Herring. You had freaking you had the clown. You had the space kook. You had the gaggling ghost, whatever they call them. That's my favorite one. You had the creeper, the zombie, and the witch. You just so many awesome monsters. You know, like some of them were, you know, basic monsters, like Black Knight. That's their first one, but like Black Knight, the zombie, the Wolfman. Those are basic. But like then they had the Abominable Snowman. They had the 1,000-volt ghost, the skeletons with the one eyes. I don't know what they were called, but like they had clever ones too. Miner 49er, old Redbeard. You know, just Cotton Tar Monster, Cotton Candy, just so many great things. All their movies, we watched The Witch's Ghost on repeat as kids. All of us did. All of us did. We loved it. Zombie Island, loved it. Cyber Chase, loved it. I mean, they were all just so good. And just, you loved those. You loved the Scooby Gang. Watch it. All their theme songs are so catchy. I eventually want to do a theme song ranking. It just, oh my lord. It really got, I loved it. Number 6 is Teen Titans. I grew up on this show. Yes, I was mad when they came out Teen Titans Go, but after watching it and growing up, I can appreciate things more and not hate on them. Teen Titans Go isn't meant for us. It's meant for, you know, younger audience. And overall, the show is decently funny. I can't watch the show literally because of Starfire. She ruins the show for me. They made her so dumb and I hate it. But aside from that, the cartoon's actually pretty funny. The movie was funny. Teen Titans, the original cartoon, fantastic. Young Justice, even though it's a whole nother team, still, it has elements of Teen Titans and has Teen Titans. I loved it. The theme song, Go Teen Titans, Go. It was like T-E-N-S-T-I-T-A-N-S, Teen Titans, let's go. You know, like, you knew that song. It was awesome. I remember me and my siblings when we were kids, we would play Teen Titans. I was Beast Boy. My cousin Jordan was Cyborg. Tyler was Robin. I remember Chandler would be Red X, even though that was Robin, but still, he loved Red X. I think Skylar was Starfire and Shaylee was Raven. I don't remember exactly with the girls, but still, and we'd go attack Trevor and say that he was Slade, and he's like, I'm not playing with you guys. But when we actually got him to play with us, it was scary, because he would just beat us up. But like, we loved the Teen Titans. The theme song was great. The stories were great. I remember sitting in class, I would sit there and draw stick figures of the Teen Titans and fighting their bad guys all the time. Like, I still have those drawings because they were my favorites. And number 4, I also sat in class, not number 4. Number 5, I also sat in class drawing them all the time. I just loved them. They were fantastic. Number 4 is the Fantastic Four. So, that's fitting. I had so many action figures. I mean, I had the Fantastic Car from the second movie. I had a Fantastic Car that came out with the first movie because they didn't actually have a Fantastic Car in that movie. I had a Reed that you could actually stretch his limbs. I had a Reed that you could take him apart and put in more longer limbs, more long neck and legs and arms. That was my favorite Reed. I had a Human Torch where he's always on fire. One where he just had a little bit of fire. One where he was just regular and you clip on fire. One that had fire and a charger attached to him that looked like a spiral, and when you took him off of it, he would light up. That was my favorite one of that one. I had a thing with the crushed car. It was Johnny's crushed car. I had a thing that had a string that you pull in the back, and it was like, ah! Like, my favorite thing was the one that came with his own car. His car was, I loved that car. It was so cool, and I want to find it again. But yeah, that was my favorite thing. And then Invisible Woman. I remember I played with the toys all the time, and I could never find Invisible Woman. The only thing I could find was like a, I don't know, probably like 12-inch, I don't know. It was probably like that big of a figure, and she was just clear. I always had the Fantastic Four saying, Sue, we'll save you as soon as we can. Dr. Doom, he froze you, made you a giant and froze you, which was stupid, but it's what I had to do because I didn't have her as a toy. And sometimes I'd even pretend that I had her and she was just invisible. Finally, I got her, and my mom bought like bought me one and then it broke really easily. So she bought me like 3 more in case they broke. They all eventually broke, but 2 of them were just straight clear. The other 2 had a little bit of clearness at the bottom, and she had like a little spiral force field thing around her. Awesome. The one with collar with a little bit of invisibility, that was my favorite. I had a Dr. Doom and he had a bent light post. I had a Silver Surfer where he sat on his board, you put him back and go, and oh my, I had so many. I had them from Rise of Silver Surfer where there are multiple heroes in one. Oh my god, I had big toys of them. I had the thing, Fist and, Feet. Loved it. Oh my gosh, me and my siblings would always play Fantastic Four with the toys or pretending to be us. And we would watch this movie so many times. I love the Fantastic Four. That's where my favorite color, orange, came from, was because of the thing. My favorite color was blue up until that time. And it stayed orange ever since. I love them. Also, we need those pop figures. I think previously I said number 4 was Fantastic Four, but it was actually number 5 if you're paying attention. Number 4 is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Or just Power Rangers, but still. I grew up on all of them. I had VHS tapes of all of them. I watched the movies Turbo and Mighty Morphin over and over again with my brother Tyler. Like, we were the biggest Ranger fans I had ever met. I mean, still I think, no, Gary's the biggest Ranger fan I've ever met. But me and Tyler are a close second. And, I mean, we had all their toys. I used to steal Tyler's toys all the time because I didn't have all the cool toys. We had Morphers, we had Zords, we had t-shirts, I remember I had a blue Power Ranger costume I was never allowed to wear because it wasn't Halloween, and then I ruined it because I wore it when it wasn't Halloween and I was so mad. But it was just, I loved it. All the theme songs. Go, go, Power Rangers. All the weekly monsters. Zordon, Rita, Godar. Rita! You know, like, oh my god. Oh, it was fantastic. In Space, Turbo. Those were all the ones I watched. And just Power Rangers, I mean, they got me here. They're fantastic. Number 3 is yes, a lot of these that I'm listing started before number 3, but number 3, I don't think I would be as geeky as I am without number 3. Because number 3 is the Runaways. And yes, I've said this 1,000 times on this channel. That was my very first comic series. As always, had some technical difficulties. But number 3, I would not be here without number 3. It's the Runaways. Runaways was my very first comic book that I read and made me fall in love with comic books. I told you, I picked it up because I saw a kid that was black, afro, glasses, me, and I loved it. The kids, the dinosaur, the aliens, and like them being connected to the bigger Marvel universe, but not really. I loved it. I loved reading those comics. I went to the library like at least twice a year just to get them again and reread them. The Runaways were just, I truly don't think I would be, I may have, I don't know, but without the Runaways, I don't know where I would be with comic books, because that's when I first started liking them. I would go to the library and pick them up, and I started getting a monthly subscription in the mail of random, like, Marvel ones that were just different characters every month. And without the Runaways, I don't know if I would have done that. Yes, a lot of these, I mean, they're all comic book characters in some way, but, like, I don't know if I would have without the Runaways. I mean, thank you, Alex Wilder. Thank you, Brian K. Vaughan. Thank you, I never knew how to pronounce the illustrator's name. Whoever designed Alex, thank you. Number 2 is Spider-Man. Every kid loves Spider-Man. I have never met a kid that doesn't like Spider-Man. Everybody loves him. I grew up on the Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans. Me and my cousin, we would stay up late at night just to watch the 90s Spider-Man cartoon playing late at night on Disney, or Disney XD. Well, actually, back in the day, it was Toon Disney and Jetix. But still, watched it all the time. You got to see the Sinister Six on there, but they weren't called the Sinister Six. They were called, like, what were they called? Sinister's too mean or evil. Either way, they were called something else, but you got to see all of that. And then, seeing those movies, I had so many of the action figures. Like I just said with the Fantastic Four, I'd probably say the closest the most action figures to a set I've ever had would probably be number 1, which I'll get to in a second. Then Fantastic Four, then Spider-Man. Like, I had so many of their, you know, Series 1, Series 2, Movie 1, Movie 2, whatever you wanted, all of their different sets. Like, I had almost all of them all the time, and I loved them. SpiderMan was such an easy thing to pretend to play. You would, you know, it was just, I remember we had these SpiderMan goggles, flippers, and these little, like, weird webbed finger gloves things, and they would squirt out water for the pool. We would fight over them. Those were, it was great. SpiderMan was awesome, playing with all the toys, and I had a coloring book, watching the VHS tapes, and then I grew up to Spectacular Spider-Man. God, I love that show. Anyways, 8 through 2 truly have all defined me in ways and made me the geek that I am today. But number 1, without it, I don't think I would have even, I don't know. I mean, yeah, it just depends on how you're raised, what you're around. But without number 1, I feel like I would have just been an average kid playing with a few toys and then grew up and started liking sports. But number 1 kept me there. Which, I mean, a lot of people think, oh, you're still childish, but I don't care. I love this stuff. And number 1, all of these have helped me, but number 1 is Ninja Turtles. Without it, I do not know where I would be. I do not know. Half of the videos on this channel have been Ninja Turtle based. I love all the movies, and even if they're terrible, I love them in some way. I love all the shows in some way. Turtle Tunes, We Wish You a Turtle Christmas, coming out of our shells. I mean, I love it. I have all their pop figures except for 2. I have Dorbs of them. I have so many action figures. As a kid, I had so many action figures. I have t-shirts for days. I've had hats. I remember in 9th grade when what was it? Snapbacks, flat bills, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. They're real famous. I bought a Michelangelo one from Spencer's and I wore it all the time. I remember all my friends wanted it. I was like, no, that's my hat. Every picture around that time, like in 9th grade, was me wearing that hat. I think I ended up giving that hat to JJ. I'm not positive, but yeah, I mean, I wore the hell out of that hat. All my pictures were me in that hat. Ninja Turtles, I mean, their comic books and their TV shows are some of the best. The theme songs, the characters, everything was amazing, and I loved it. Without the Ninja Turtles, I would not be this geek, and I am so grateful to the Ninja Turtles. I'm so grateful to all 8 of these things that I listed on here, and there's so many other franchises that have made me more geeky, but these are the 8 that I think truly defined me, made me the geek that I am. And I think if you ask people, I think they would say, yo, if you're like, hey, name some franchises Corbin liked, I think for sure people would say Power Rangers, Runaways, TMNT, and Back to the Future. I think a good bit of people would say ScoobyDoo also. And I think people would just say Marvel and DC in general. But if they really, really knew me, then they would say Spider-Man and Teen Titans. Fantastic Four, it's a little bit harder because we haven't really had anything to even come close to loving since the mid-2000s. Since like 2000, when was Rise of Silver Surfer? 07? I mean, we haven't had anything to even like a little bit about the Fantastic Four in a long time, so it's been hard to show my love for them. So, but yeah, all these things, seriously, I loved them. Please, guys, let me know down below. Let me know on Twitter, Instagram, whatever. DM me, whatever you want to do. Let me know what your guys' favorite franchises are. What do you think defines you as a geek? And, you know, just, yeah. Until next time, seriously, stay geeky.